Welcome to Meet Us at the Café, Episode 4. Defying the Odds for over 80 years. An example of God's glory. Today's featured guest is Charles Skip Bundy, a man of fearless faith. His story is not just a conversation, but a production divided into 5 parts. Act 1, the early years. Act 2, the cultural arts years. Act 3, godson Lee Daniels joins the conversation. Act 4, 80th birthday Zoomathon well wishes ending with a cartwheel. Act 5, the faith walk continues. Also joining the conversation is Philadelphia cultural dance arts icon and personal friend, Joan Myers Brown. Now, here's the producer and your host, Charlotte Sistrun.
Welcome to Meet Us at the Café. That's us. Us stands for Unstoppable Seniors. That's that U and that S. Unsung Survivors. There's that U and S again. Sharing uniquely spectacular stories. Usually I have a theme for each episode before I record, but these conversationalists today are so dynamic that we're going to let the story be told, and then we're going to come up with a theme as we go along. The featured guest is West Philadelphia native and community icon, Charles Bundy. He's affectionately known as Skip. So I'm going to say, hi, Skip, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yes. And joining in this conversation is cultural arts legend, Joan Myers Brown, affectionately known as JB.
Hey.
Welcome, JB. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Okay. I don't think there's anybody, Joan, who knows Skip's background like you as far as integrating his family life into his business life, into the whole spectrum of his life. Because you're here, you're going to help us tie it all together. How about that?
Well, you better hope I can remember.
You know what? Okay, listen, I'm going to tell you all something here. This is all unscripted. This is why I like the three of us together. Because look, I'm in my 70s.
Yes.
Skip is in his 80s now, because it was his 80th birthday, so he's going towards 81. And Joan, you want to tell how old you are? You want to keep
Next year I'll be 90.
Hello. Okay.
Hey.
Between all of us, we're touching like 250 years, okay, of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Skip.
Thank you.
You know, we just gonna talk about you. Do you mind? And then we're gonna have you integrate your life story into it, because we just love you so much. Joan, can we do that? We're gonna talk about Skip, okay?
And it's all good.
Listen.
It's all good.
Yep.
Let's interject right here a little bit about your family life. You were born where?
Trenton, New Jersey.
You moved where first?
North Philly, then I moved to West Philly.
Into West Philly. Joan, were you born at West Philly also?
I was born in South Philly and then moved to West Philly.
Miss Philly.
I hear it.
That's when you call moving up.
Moving on. That's what I called it.
Moving up.
Skip, who were your parents?
Ted Bundy and Lou Bundy.
Ted Bundy and Lou Bundy.
Yeah.
And how many children were out of that union?
9.
9 children.
Wow.
Yes, and I understand, Skip, that your father had a little background himself, motorcycle or something.
Yeah, he was one of the first black men in motorcycle racing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But do you remember?
He did it for a while. He was a baseman. He was a baseball player too. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you come from a legacy of folks who did stuff. I also understand you were a boxer. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, lightweight.
We're going back, but this is what this man did. You also danced with Lola Falana back in the day. Is that correct?
No. Yes.
This man has accomplished so much but very few people know that he did not finish school. Do you want to just briefly mention that part, Skip? What grade did you drop out?
I don't think I got to the 5th grade. I dropped out and walked out of school at that age. And I really don't want to relate to the rest of the things I did after all that.
No, the reason I mentioned,
But I didn't even know that, Charlotte.
that's what I'm saying.
No.
First of all, this man is so spectacular. His story is so uniquely spectacular. This is a man who did not finish 5th grade. And from what I understand, because I know a little bit about your story, Skip, and you were so active and so bored and had so much in you that school bored you and you just couldn't deal with it anymore, you know?
Hey, you know what? That's my story. I would get up, walk around the classroom. My mother come to school and beat my butt because I was bored. I was bored, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I understand that.
But you know, I am surrounded by such brilliance. I mean, I could talk about how Joan and I met and how Skip and I met, and we just we've clicked all these years and we understand each other. We have such a mutual admiration because we're kind of like different. You know, Skip, I just wanted to bring that up because that adds such a depth to your story, for you to have accomplished so much in your life.
Even in his youth, he owned up to his mistakes, evidenced by this story told by his cousin Ron.
I guess I was 6, 7, which meant Skip was about 11, 10, 11. And even then, he was figuring out how we can put something together, a teeny little version of a gala. The problem is, we didn't have any money. So somehow, I don't know which ones of us thought of it, but you know what? Right up the Acme, was it an Acme, Skip, at 63rd and Vine? Right up at the Acme, why don't we just take some stuff? I know some people call that shoplifting. So we took the stuff we need. I'm sure all of it wasn't worth more than $10. Took some stuff we need, and we're marching out the store with it. The voice hollers out, "Yo, you, stop!" Skip says, "Run." I, being slow and I get sick, get hauled out. I was supposed to be right behind him. There I sat, caught, put in a little room, and then they brought the fire of the gallon. You thought I was going straight to Sing Sing, but who couldn't help himself but marching right back in? He had gotten clean away, marching right back in, said, "That's my cousin. It's all my fault." Taking that kind of, and the short story, the shortest part of that story is based on his response. They let us both go because he basically said, "I'm like 12 and 13. I made a mistake." He was just along. And so again, just like everyone has said, this idea about virtue and compassion and resilience can't just be talked about. Skip has always walked the same walk as he talks. And I'm going back, like I said, now 70 years.
Talk about the business aspect of it, because I've seen pictures of Joan selling wigs and being with you back in those days. So talk about that a little bit.
So I had opened up a boutique in Winfield, and we had fashion shows at the Wynn Ballroom, right? And Joan was always there to help me, you know, be someone to commentate or narrate what's going on with the shows, you know. Any day, if I called Joan to do something for me, Joan would be there. I mean, you don't but a friend, you know. And I knew her schedule was always busy, but she was always there for me if I wanted her to do something, and she supported me through down the years, you know. Now, I just celebrate her.
Is it true that you were the first Black business in the Winfield area? Is that true?
Yes, it is true, yes.
I think we have,
Black-owned business.
we have a photo or an article. We can put that up that you were the first Black business in that area. Skip, you know, there's so many sides to you. You had a hair salon, am I correct? What did you do back in the 1970?
It must have been. You're going way back like that.
Yeah, you went back, yes. And it was, yeah, it's a boutique.
It was a boutique.
Yes, it was hair and clothes.
Yes, and then 10 years later, you started Concern for Children's Betterment School of Performing Arts in 1980, and that was at St. Joseph's University. Tell us a little bit about that. Why did you start that?
Well, I saw a need for an after-school program when I saw a lot of Black women now was starting to work. And I felt as though if we could do something after school, get the kids and help them probably with homework and introduce them to the arts. I put the arts on the end of that. And that started CCB, because Concern for Children's Betterment. The name says it all. It says it all. Dow Wayman at St. Joe's was allowing me to do, I think we started off with a little program over there at St. Joe's. We were in one of the buildings we started in. I think it was the North Lounge or something. We started there. She was able to get me into St. Joe's, and we did it there for a year. Then they started the John Anderson Cultural Centers. The city had put a building there, and I went over there and told them what I was doing. So they allowed me to bring my program in that building. I think we was in there for over 12 years.
Yes.
And I moved on into schools and all with my program.
And you also had a gymnastics class at St. Joe's. Now, did you see a need for a gymnastics class? Explain that.
Well, yes, I think exercise is very important for everybody, for us, body, keeping our bodies in shape. That's why I got 80 years going.
Okay.
Yeah, because of exercise, yeah.
I love it. I love it. From all the years that I've known both of you, I've never seen any jealousy or competition between the two of you, and you both in the cultural arts. How did that happen? How did that energy happen?
Well, for me, the fact that he was interested in the young people in his community, that's what I was interested in, training the young people, giving them opportunity for good training and exposure to the arts, and that's what he was about. And also he was about, teaching them about religion and self-appreciation. All the things he was doing was pretty much what I was doing. We're just doing it two different ways.
Do you have any events that stand out in your mind during your relationship with Skip?
Actually, it was just continuous. Nothing was particularly outstanding because it just kept happening. We kept supporting it. And, when I sent Kim to teach and help him, I would show up because I know it was going to be good. And if I had a recital and I asked him to do something, it was nothing particularly outstanding. And it's still the same. It's still the same. Whatever he does, I'm there. Whatever I do, he's there.
For our audience, who is Kim?
First of all, she was the dancer in Philadanco. And then after 20 years, when she stopped dancing, I made her my assistant to the artist, because I'm called the artistic director then. And now I made her the artistic director because if something happens to me, my organization needs to be in place and have a strong footing so that it can continue. That it doesn't stop when I stop, because I don't want them to say, what we're going to do because Joan ain't here no more. Kim is here. She got it. So that's amazing. And she will continue helping Skip long as Skip is doing something. And I'm sure same with us.
Skip, how did you know Kim? How did you know Kim? Also, right?
Oh, Kim Bear, because Joan had sent Kim, because I'd asked her, I needed a dance teacher, and she sent Kim there. Kim said this was the first job she ever had. First job she's got when, because when she was dancing with dance company. And when she came and worked for me, Kim's just awesome. And we clicked, just like Joan said, they clicked me and Kim clicked, you know, it was like, we knew each other, you know, knew the, you know, and the work that she did in my place, I'm telling you, I enjoyed Kim, and I still enjoy her. She just has that, that gift that only God gives certain people, you know.
Exactly.
And I love her. I love her.
Hi, Skip. How are you? I love you. I want to say thank you for the millions of times and years since the early 80s that you ministered me through love and care. You held me up, you supported me. This birthday is this year. The years coming are yours. You deserve it. You are God's light coming and going through, elbows and out. I just love you, love you, love you. I am Kim Bears-Bailey. I am the Assistant Artistic Director of Philadanco. And I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I came to Philly in 1974 to go to school. And I met Skip when I joined Danco in 81. And Skip Bundy gave me my first teaching job. I love him. He did it with care, support, understanding, and just that person that gives you that extra wings to fly, like Joan Myers. And I so appreciate it because I found my footing, I found my ground, I found my care for children, and watching how you did it so effortlessly. And I just love you for that. You change lives, Skip Bundy. You really do. You changed mine.
Let's fill the audience in again. What did you start in 1960 and what did you start in 1970?
School started, Philadelphia School of Dance.
Ooh, dance art.
Is the school. And then 10 years later, I started the company. I call it Philadanco. Now, I didn't want to call nothing Miss Jones Dancing School or Miss Jones Dance Company. I said I wanted to make it something that represented what we were doing in our city. So that's why I call it the Philadelphia School of Dance Arts and the Philadelphia Dance Company.
Well, you know, Joan, you're not going to get away with this. I'm going to do a story on you also because you are a legend in this city of Philadelphia and are known around the world. But so we've got 1960 and 1970. Skip, you started your school, Concern for Children's Betterment School of Performing Arts. When did you start that?
In 1980. Once I stopped my program, I think I went to Lamberton and I was there for 15 years. I volunteered there with the arts and worked with the dance teachers, putting 3 shows on a year. We did a holiday show, a Black History show, and one at the end of the year. We did that show. Absolutely. And I did one of the Black shows and I had the kids do a little Black history, and I did something, kids running down the aisle with the white tape things on, and it was dealing with history and what happened. I showed them with the kids up on the stage, and they were hung, and how they, you know, did a song, you know, and it was awesome, you know, and they don't do that night, you know, but I didn't listen. I still did it anyway, you know, because it is our history, you know. It was an excellent show.
Well, you know, one thing I could say about both of you is that you use the arts to tell history and stories. I think both of you did something for Rosa Parks.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, and you had the Sam Cooke.
And we do the Central Park 5. And
that video, Lord.
Then we do one with all the 5 of the guys.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you have to tell it. You have to tell it so that it gets out there.
Yes.
For you all who don't know, when you go to these recitals and see a well-orchestrated production, you have no idea about what goes on behind the scenes. I know both of these people. I've seen them do costumes. They have to select the music. They have to select the choreographers. It's just like so multidimensional. No wonder they couldn't sit still in school because they had so much energy. It takes an awesome amount to do this, and they're still doing it. They haven't stopped. Now I'm gonna talk about Joan right now. Joan was mad when COVID came along because she was on her way to Germany. Am I right, Joan? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, we were in Germany. Actually, we were in Switzerland, and we had to get to Germany to get home.
Yeah.
And they pulled you back. You had to come back.
I brought my kids home. We had 15 concerts, and we had only done 5. That was it. I'm gonna get my kids home.
And see, so now I'm telling you right now, spilling the tea. I believe, Joan, that you were tired when you got back because that was a whole lot. That was about similar to that time frame when Skip was planning for his birthday, and you just needed to rest a little bit so you could regroup and come out here and kick butt again. That brings me to another point. I believe that both of you know the filmmaker, Lee Daniels. Talk about that a little bit because he's known around the world, but he had his humble beginnings in West Philadelphia. Skip, talk about that a little bit. And I know Joan knows him also.
Lee was my godson, and I wanted to introduce him to the arts, you know. So I know I took him by Philadanco, you know, and I always had him with me, you know. We have a lot of history of things that a lot of things he was learning from me. Every holiday, Lee Daniels would not have to worry about anything for Christmas. I would have a car filled up with gifts and everything from it, all the clothes he can get and everything. I also prophesied to him when he was around 7 years old that he would be in movies, you know. So it's like, we had a great history, but that's my thing about Lee Daniels. I see him, he's really, really close with my sister Dot now, but that's another story and that'll be in the book.
And Joan, you have a relationship with Lee Daniels also. He's been the honorary chair. As a matter of fact, this past year, you know, before COVID, you were going to have this big gala in April, right? And he was going to be your honorary chair, and he's
October.
In October, okay.
Yeah.
And so, how do you know Lee, Joan?
Well, Skip Bundy brought him to me. Said he wanted him to know about the arts, and that he was. But first of all, he was the busybody, and he wanted to keep him occupied, and the way he brought it. I keep saying, "Oh, badass Lee." Because he was busy. He was running around here, you know, learning how to dance, and it wasn't his favorite place to be, but then he fell in love with the arts. And I think that molded his future, being involved in the arts. Well, what Skip was doing and him being here. And he says about me is that I was a woman that had grace and character that he hadn't experienced with anyone before, and the leadership, I think, of what I was doing.
Yes.
Well, you know, we do have a clip of Lee Daniels talking. He confirms everything that you said. So we're going to see that clip right now. We have it on tape from the mouth of Lee Daniels.
Hi, you look great.
Yeah, you do. What's all that on your face? I don't know this long.
It's coronavirus. Hey, Brenda, it's coronavirus, you know. I was on the, and now I'm really busted. I'll never be able to not, everybody knows I'm great. But listen, I just wanted to tell you happy birthday. I was talking to Aunt Dot, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And I was asking how you were doing, and she said you were having this. And I just wanted to let you know that, and I've told you this before, but I really want you to know it again. It is so important that you know, I am here. My dream came true because you told me that I could do it. You are responsible. You are seriously, single-handedly responsible for my success. You have encouraged me to pursue my dreams when everybody was shutting it down. I don't know that I could be here without you. And I just, that's so important to me. And it's so important that you hear that at 80 freaking years old, yo. Okay, that's on some other crazy stuff. I only hope I look like you.
You are a renowned filmmaker, and Skip praises you and he loves you, but there's so many things that have gone into that relationship? Is there some things that you can share?
And early on, I think that he made me feel very special, even as a youngster. Even at 7 or 8, he would come over at Christmas time with just hordes of gifts, and he knew that I was special. Yeah. And he would shower me with gifts and tell me that I was special. He encouraged me to perform, to dance, to act, to pursue the arts. When it was shut down, we didn't have that. We don't have I don't even know whether they have it now in Philadelphia, but at that time, you had to go out and look for arts. And so he really encouraged me. He pushed, I don't know, I'm sure that I would have been in Philadelphia right now doing whatever, had it not been for him to encouraging me to step out of my safety zone and into my spirit, into what God wanted for me. So he was very into that, very, very much into what God, he saw it. Mm.
Yep. What was that essence of that relationship that helped to nurture that? Because you've gone on to become an acclaimed filmmaker, worldwide renowned, known around the world, and your work is off the chain. I mean, your creativity is unlimited and unabridged.
I think that he saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself.
I'm surprised to hear you say that.
Yeah, no, I think he saw, he knew me before I knew myself. So I just remember him being into the picture as I was, as I was coming into adolescence. And so he had been around prior to that. And my mother and he were very, very close, and she loved him. And so, and he was like a father to me. He was closer to me than my father was, for sure. And I wasn't able to ever tell him that because my father was jealous of my relationship with him, very jealous of my relationship with him, because I put him on a pedestal. And I was disappointed that he did not pursue his dream, because he was far more talented than me. And so I know so. I know so, and, but he had other dreams, he really focused on the Lord. He focused on, and I remember thinking, what is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? And his path really was ministering, and his path was just a different path. And but he knew what my path was. And, yeah, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So
how are the arts now? Because that's kind of where I know the connection to be with Philadanco and Joan Myers Brown.
Oh, Jill, he introduced me to Philadanco, Philadelphia Dance, the school on Market Street.
Philadelphia School of Dance.
Yeah, with the tap dancer. She passed away.
Yeah.
And then Joan.
Yes.
That was the opening and the exploration in the beginning of my spiritual awakening into the arts. I'm sorry, what was your question about the?
My original question was, what's happening with the arts now with COVID-19? So many of the performances have been either postponed, and dance companies and entertainment industry has just changed so much as a result of it.
I can only speak for me. I've got several television shows that are about to come on the air, but we can't shoot them yet because we're writing them. So we're in writers' rooms, and we're developing them so that when they are on at Hulu and at BET and at ABC, 3 television shows that are coming on, but we can't get into a studio to work safely. But I do have a film that's coming out. We're just figuring out whether or not it's going to be we're trying to figure out whether or not it's literally right now, whether it's going to be in the cinema or whether we're going to flip it and put it on the screen as The Life of Billie Holiday, which is I'm very excited about. So that's
You need a lead singer?
It's done. We're already shooting.
Yes, I missed my calling. Oh my God.
But anyway, I just want to listen. I want to get out of here. I love you so much, Skipper.
I love you.
You are everything to me, and I should only wish to be looking as good as you do at 80 years old. Hey, Lisa! Anyway, I love you. I'm really, 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 really good. I just wanted to shout at your father to tell him how much I love him and how much I can't get it. I just can't tell him how much I love him and how grateful I am and how much time he spent away just focusing on me before your ass came along. You know what I mean?
Oh, listen at you.
Well, Lenny, let me tell you that a lot of the folks that he has poured into have talked to him. So when you say that he had more talent than you, and I see it.
He did. No. I've never seen it before. Like when I watched him with my mom and with my aunts and his creativity for the creating of his fashion shows that he would do and or his dance ability, his choreography, his mind was it was something I aspired to do. He pushed me to perfection, and so that's what I strive for is perfection, and I think it started with him.
Yeah.
And he did at his 79th birthday. He did do a cartwheel, by the way.
You lying?
He did 3 cartwheels. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And so this turned out even better. You know, COVID-19 allowed the opportunity for you to tell Skip how you really felt. And we got it on tape. And we're streaming live with all of the unabridged and unfiltered stuff. We got it because this is it. It could not have happened better. And we thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule.
I love you so much, Mr. Bundy.
I love
Bye,
you.
everybody. Nice to
Love
see
you.
you.
Just like Lee said in the clip that we played, he recognizes that you all were a part of his life.
Solomon Cummings here, saying happy 80th birthday to Charles Skip Bundy. Known you since I was a teenager. 54th. Winfield. You saw the talent and put us to work. I was one of the first students at CCB. Then became a vocal and voice instructor. Yeah, Skip, you did that. Made sure that you put some money in our pocket. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. Just wanted to share a few melodies with you that I created.
Everyone, this is the real deal. We've invited you into our family. We usually have a gala every single year. This is the first time because of COVID-19 that we have not been able to do it, but this is better because we've seen folks that we have not seen in decades. We're talking about people that I've known since they were 6 years old, and now they are 40 and in their 50s. So this is fantastic. Charles Skip Bundy certainly is a fixture in the Northwest Philadelphia, Winfield, and Overbrook community. He has impacted so many lives. I can truthfully say thousands of families over the years through not only his dance arts, but through his prayers and his ministry. You can call him. Nothing he likes better than to get a prayer through and to help you in your mission in life. And so that is Skip Bundy, and we are so glad to be here to just share with him our love.
Hey, I just want to say happy birthday to my dad. Well, of course, I've known him all my life.
Sure.
And today is going to be a special one for him because he has something else going on. But I'm glad he's in my life, and I'm glad I'm his daughter. And I just want to wish him a happy 80th. Hope he can see many more years, and I'm hoping I can reach his years of 80. And he's been inspiration to me and a lot of other people, and he's touched a lot of people's lives. And one thing he's good for is those prayers. We all need them. And he always has us in prayer. And just keep him in prayer so he have a good day and keep him going on. And no more cartwheels for today, Bundy. He's the only person that I know who throws his own self a birthday every year. You hear me? Every year.
Hello, everybody. Hello. How's everybody doing? Grateful to be here for this special occasion. Happy 80th birthday to Charles Skip Bundy, aka my dad. Charles Bundy came into my life when I was 14 years old, and I was one of those troubled teens growing up. And being under his leadership and a sense of direction, I didn't know what God had in store for me, but Bundy knew what God had in store for me. And in spite of the difference, he molded me into the arts of becoming that dancer, that actor, learning voice, learning how to model, and learning how to be that young man. In spite of, I did a turn, I did a spiral. I fell into the world of drugs and alcohol. And through his prayers and through his fasting and believing in faith and never giving up and never blaming me on my flaws or putting me down, he just kept praying and praying for me. And by the grace of God, through his prayers, I am delivered, I am restored, and I'm grateful through his prayers. Through his prayers, I'm 7.5 years clean. I work for Old University. I'm becoming a chef. And at the grace of God, I have my family, I have my loved ones, I'm accountable, I'm reliable, I'm trustworthy, I'm honest. I'm not that old Kevin. I'm a new and improved Kevin by the grace of God. And through that, I thank God for Charles Bundy being that father in my life. And once again, Dad, happy 80th birthday. I love you to the moon and back.
A lot of good memories. I always think about Skipper and how much of a huge role he played for me in my life. CCB, Charlotte, everybody. I mean, you know, it's not a day that goes by when I'm at work or in my personal life or professional life, I don't think about the impact that CCB has had on developing my character, and my decisions, and just a lot of different things. You know, confidence that came through the performing arts, the professionalism. So it's like Skipper and everyone that he's around, and so many people he's influenced throughout the years. I just really appreciate you. I love you. You're always there for me, and you know, you're absolutely irreplaceable. So.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sandra. I used to be one of. Hi, everybody. I used to be one of the dancers here. I went to Lamberton for elementary school and middle school. And Mr. Muddy came to Miss Jones and was like, I have this program that I want to start doing with you guys. So he partnered with her. So I would come after school. I did the summer programs. I did the workshops. We did St. Joe's. We had recitals. Yes. We had rehearsals. We had long hours.
We had fun.
So much time, but we had so much fun. My dad is a single dad, so he wanted me to be around a program that I could grow, that I can evolve in and learn from somebody like Mr. Bundy. And we had some amazing teachers and instructors that came out. And of course, I met Brittany. And so we've been with Mr. Bundy since we were like small 12, 13-year-olds, right out of bushy tails, just wanting to learn and wanting to know how to do that, and wanting to know how to spin and turn and pivot and jump and do all these amazing things that he know how to do. And we was like, how do you know how to do that? And we're trying to learn it. So we stuck by it, and we learned so much, and we grown all together, and it was such an amazing and fun time.
For those who don't know me, my name is Brittany Smith. I've been with Bundy, as Sandra said, from, I believe I was in like second, third grade or so. And I started out as a dancer, acting, helping Miss Pearl. She's a very, very big influence on my dance career. Outside of that, I started going to him when he had David Lee 40. I was helped sit at the table to help sell his items.
What is David Lee 40?
David Lee 40 is his accessory brand. He has clothes, bags, jewelry, accessories, and just about anything that you can think of. If you need it, Bundy will get it for you. So I continue to stick by Bundy. A very traumatic experience happened in my life when I lost my mom at 17, and then my dad went to jail 2 weeks after that. And I that part of my life was very, very dark. And I was like, you know, I chose to get closer to God. And then the first sign was to run to was to Bundy. Bundy prayed with me day in and years out, days in and years out. Every single day, I'll call him crying, acting crazy. Who knows what I was doing, honestly, because I was lost. And he never gave up on me. He kept me close by. I still went away to college. I had a baby during college. I still finished on time. I came out, and now Bundy, as someone said earlier, has a way of making you work when you don't think so. So then I somehow became a part of a board to help make his events happen, decorating them, getting models for shows, modeling for the shows.
And danced with Mr. Bundy for many, many, many years. He had a great impact on our family. His after school program, you know, I remember the Wiz. I remember the voice lessons, tap, jazz. We did it all with Mr. Bundy through his program, and have, you know, he helped to shape us into the people we are today. Remember Kevin, you as a dance teacher, Solomon as a voice teacher, and you know, we encountered or met everybody along the way in one way or another, in an administrative role or in a teaching role, and you all just had a great impact. And I just was looking through my drawer. I was doing some cleaning, and I found this shirt. This is, if you can see it, maybe if I take down my background real quick, I have this shirt. Here is my shirt, CCB.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yes, I still have it. It looks like it fits me, but yeah, I had this from when I was like 6 years old. So why can I still trying to fit? I don't know. Anyway, but yes, Mr. Bundy, we love you. Happy 80th birthday.
Uncle Skipper, you did it. You made it to 80 years old.
Lord Jesus.
With God's help, you have now accomplished a major milestone in life.
Thank you.
Many
Yes.
have not. Thank you for always being a loving and supportive uncle. Thank you for keeping me and our family in prayer. God connected us through our love and passion for dancing, and I am eternally grateful to have you as an uncle. I pray that your year will be filled with good health, happiness, peace, financial prosperity, and love. Happy birthday, Uncle Skipper!
How are you? Happy birthday, Uncle Skipper.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing fine. I'm doing fine. I'm his niece. I just want to say happy birthday. First reveal of my actual bald head.
Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can wear that. You wear it well.
It wasn't by choice, but I rang the bell yesterday.
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Aloha! Congratulations!
Thank you. Yes. So just blessed to be here. To wish you a happy birthday. I remember my days. Couldn't get a job, and my uncle said, "You can come work for me." And I worked for him that summer, and me and Robin and us walked down 54th Street, and I met my husband.
We both want to wish Skip a happy birthday and thank him for all the wonderful times and influence that he had on our family and our daughter, always encouraging her, and really made a difference in our lives.
It was one of those things in life that I can never, ever, ever put a value on, of how happy I was when I danced at CCB. And our whole family was a part of your family. And I thank you for every moment you gave us. Continue to give all these kids. I love you so much.
I love you too. You got me crying.
You don't know how much you've enriched everybody's life here. I mean, look at me, coming from Southwest Philadelphia to living in Kapolei, Hawaii. Skip, you are loved. I love you. You got all these children right here. We are all your children, whether we're your niece, nephew, as we call it in Hawaii, a person who is related to you but not by blood is called Hanai. And in Hawaii, that carries a lot of weight. So like, a Hanai family member can come visit you in a hospital without any signed papers or anything. And all it takes is somebody who you love and cherish that is not related to you by blood. You are my Hanai father. I love you. We all love you. And we're all going to support each other and you throughout all this journey. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But all of the folks who know Skip know that he's made them better.
Well, they can drive by and say, sing happy birthday and in the cars or whatever. I got a tent out. I got my sign out. Oh, yeah, we have cupcakes for everybody. Well, it's a little more than cupcakes in the bag, but we got stuff for you.
And now, the moment we've been waiting for.
Oh my! He's doing a cartwheel at 80 years old. Let's see that again in slow motion. Look closely. This happened during social distancing. He has on a mask. He does a cartwheel. He loses his shoe. Wow!
Mr. Bundy, you know, I've known you for 40 years, and everything about you is a walk of faith, even the dog that you are holding in your lap. We're going to talk about Asa, my friend, a purebred Pekingese dog, in a moment. But first, we're going to talk about my journey with you. I've known you for 40 years. You taught my daughters who are grown. One of my granddaughters who you taught is also grown. I've emceed many of your galas and your events. You even had me and my best friend, Edeline Carroll, in a tutu when we were in our 40s dancing to Do You Remember the Time? But what's so spectacular about what you do is each of these events were extravaganzas. You started with a thought but no money. By the time the event came and went, everything was paid for. You never owed anybody. You're talking about a faith walk all of those years. You retired about 22 times. And I understand that you're still busy in the community. So we're going to talk about what you're doing here and now. Asa, we're going to get to you in a minute. I just love Asa so much. I understand that you have done Women Around the Table. What made you start Women Around the Table?
When I started the Women Around the Table, I wanted to see what would happen, but it really surprised me too, because they had a lot of sharing one another, and really people felt better after they left. They were like, each one would tell them about their experience, what they went through in life, and it really, their testimony blessed someone that's at that table. And they left, leaving out better than they felt when they came in. So then I said, this is a great idea. So I started doing the Women Around the Table. I could see what God was talking about. We needed that fellowship. They needed to get together, and they needed to hear that someone else got the same challenges that they had. So it really worked, Charlotte.
Well, that's like an extension of you being a pastor at the Family Church of God. You co-pastor, you're an associate pastor with Pastor Darrell Shelton. And I understand you guys are doing great things in the community. During the pandemic, you ministered one-on-one. I mean, there's so many needs. There's so much healing that needs to be done in the community. And you've continued as the pandemic is lessening a little bit. You're doing it in small groups. And the need is so profound until I understand you're looking for a building.
Yes, I am. And like you said, it is so needful when you look in the community and see what's going on. We're losing a lot of our kids today. So yeah, definitely I'm working to get this building and put some of these programs in here. I'm excited. I got the people ready to work. They're saying, Bundy, hurry up, let's get this building so we can get started on this. So I've got everybody praying that we know God's going to do it. It's going to make a way.
He's talking about the future already. He's got the plan and watch the resources. Oh my goodness, watch it happen. Do you know, that brings us to Asa. Asa has been sitting quietly, listening, absorbing all of this. And the way Asa came into your life is a miracle unto itself. Would you tell the audience how that happened?
Well, I think it's another prayer, because I was praying, I told the Lord I wanted a dog. And I also was very specific. I wanted a white dog or a bay or a light brown dog. And it's so funny. I came into the building and I saw the signs up for a dog that was lost. And I went in the office and they said, well, Mr. Bundy, we have a dog back there in the storage bin. And we had taken him to see if he had a chip, and he didn't have one. They said we put flyers all around the building and down the street. So I said, well, let me see the dog. So I went and looked, and they had the dog in one of those crates that you get from the store. And I said, oh no, I'll take the dog and I'll keep him till we find an owner. I said, in fact, I'll walk him all around. So I took Asa and I walked him all around the different blocks and everything, you know, every day. I said, someone might, you know, see, here's that dog. So doing that, it ended up in almost over a year, I'm walking Asa. So this day I'm walking Asa down the street and the lady pulls up in the car and said, oh, you found my dog Sparkle. So she grabbed the dog and put him in the car and she started talking to me and asking me who I was. And I said, I'm Mr. Bundy. And I said, she says, well, what do you do? And I was telling how I was at the school working at Lamberton and volunteer and working in the community and mentoring young men. And I told her what I was doing. And she says, we had a nice conversation. So she went back and got the dog. She says, and these are her words. She says, I looked at your face when I took the dog. She says, I cannot take this dog from you. And she gave Asa back to me. So, you know, I said, well, you know, I think that was the work of God.
No, the exact dog that you visualized.
Yes.
We just could not tell your story without talking about Asa. And everybody loved that Asa. Everybody loves that Asa.
And well-trained.
Well-trained.
Yes. Well-trained. Didn't have to do anything. He doesn't like to go up the steps. He likes the elevator.
Oh, and wait a minute. And you cook his chicken for him and it has to be warm.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And when he wants to go out, he go get his leash and bring it to me.
Oh my goodness. Asa, you are special. You are special. What a story. Thank you for sharing, because I know a lot of animal lovers are looking at this and they're getting something out of this story. But this is a faith walk. I actually witnessed how this came about. You're also putting the pieces together to tell your life story in a book.
Yes.
All right. We're waiting patiently for that.
Yeah.
Yes, we're waiting for that one. And you are also preparing for your 81st birthday weekend bash. I know that's going to be something else.
It's going to be awesome.
And this year, perhaps we'll be able to visit, because the 80th birthday was all Zoom, virtual, taking temperatures and everything else, and drive-by and all that other stuff. So maybe this year, we will actually be able to congregate in person. We'll see. But last year was not bad at all.
It was not. It was nice. It was awesome. It was awesome. I adored it.
It was awesome. Well,
it was awesome. Definitely good.
Let's close out by having Joan return to the conversation.
Thank you.
Joan, how would you describe Skip? If you could, as I said in the beginning of this, I didn't have a theme for him. And or for this story? Usually I come up with something that kind of captures the essence of the guest. How would you describe Skip, if you could?
I'd say a talented young man who had a lot to offer to the community, and he did that. He made sure that our youth were entertained as well as educated. The spirit moved him. He teaches the Lord's word, but he also teaches dance, but he's a teacher, entrepreneur, a progressive, and he was handsome, you know. So
he's still handsome. Look at that.
He had it all going when he started, and he got it all going now.
Because you did not give best wishes on the surprise virtual birthday Zoom, do you have any wishes for Skip?
And today, good health. Good health.
Yeah, amen.
Good health. To stay alive and come up on the other side of this mountain so that we can continue the work that we do. And people say you retired. I said, no, I didn't retire. I just moved over. I moved over. So you move over so that somebody young can do the work, because this work. So we know the work still has to be done.
Beautiful.
Close this out. What is your take? What is your philosophy on life?
Well, I would say, I would wish you health, like Joan said. But more than wealth, I would wish you love. You say, my philosophy on life is love. For God so loved the world that he gave. So I always want to push the love, and real love, genuine love. The agape love, that thing that can move mountains and everything. That's the kind of love I'm talking about.
Wow.
I would, and I've seen God move in my life is just, it's amazing that I'm here. I'm a miracle before you. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely.
I'm a walking miracle before you. Yeah.
An example of God's glory.
If you knew the story. That's it. Hallelujah.
You know what,
Thank you,
Joan? I said that I did not have a theme. You just said it. An example of God's glory. That will be the theme. Thank you, Joan. I've got tears. I've got goosebumps. It was you who came up with the essence of who this man is.
Thank you, Jesus.
And that about wraps it up.
Thank God.
I want to thank everyone for joining us today and for meeting us at the cafe. Joan, thank you.
Charlotte, thank you.
Skip, thank you. Until next time, may your cup runneth over with love, peace, and blessing.
That's a wrap. For more information, contact us at www.meetastudio.com.